I'm chilling. I'm playing Kingdom Come Deliverance as we do these.
The
Oh,
first
I
or the
want to
second
play
one?
that game. I need to play
I'm playing the first one still.
Welcome back, everybody, to Lupo Cinema Symposium. I'm your host, Lupo, otherwise known as Jim. I don't watch a lot of movies, and my two friends here, Rob and Christian, consume a decent amount. So we go on this journey for me to expand my mind to film. And Rob, we watched a movie. What did we watch?
This week, we watched a movie that is chaotic and uncomfortable. It's a tragedy about Connie Nikas, who, played by Robert Pattinson, the serial manipulator, desperately trying to put his toothpaste back in the tube, so to speak, and free his mentally handicapped brother, who finds himself in prison because of Connie's reckless nature. Our movie is directed by the Safdie brothers, and our movie today is Good Time. What did you guys think of Good Time, rating wise? Jim, you first.
I'm
Maybe?
gonna. I'm a little conflicted. So maybe it's because I haven't put down my first official 5-star rating that I'm not sure what I want to pop my cherry on yet. I gave it 4.5 stars. It's a really good movie, and I really enjoyed watching it. And I think that it could have gotten 5 if I had already given another movie a 5.
You scared me for a second. I thought you were about to drop a bomb on us that you hated it or something. I was like, oh man.
No, I really
What about
had
you,
a good
Christian?
time.
You had a good time? Oh man.
All right. Jimmy, I'm gonna press you on that after we all do our ratings, but I gave this
Okay.
movie a 5.
You did?
This
Okay.
is an easy 5 for me.
Interesting.
The Safdie brothers deliver consistently, and they deliver movies I haven't seen before. They give me something new every time. So for me, this is a 5.
I'm the odd man out. I loved it also, but I gave it 4 stars, so I'm the lowest. Um, I guess. Do you guys want an explanation
Obviously.
for that? I guess my explanation. Sorry, go ahead. What?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's go in order from lowest to
Okay.
highest.
Yeah. I think, even though I think it's great, and I really like it, it's I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hard grader. It didn't. I don't think it necessarily resonates with me to the point that I'd give it 4.5 to 5 stars. Like I think it's great. I don't think there's more to it than that. I don't know. I think I would have to hear. You guys would have to nail me down on it. Like what. We'll have to see what our different are, because it might just be a matter of how we grade it. I don't know. It's so close that like 4 to 4.5 to 5. I you know we're really
We're in the same ballpark.
yeah.
Yeah, so 4.5 stars. I think, again, maybe for me it's just the hump of actually like giving a movie 5 stars. Like I'm treating myself like I'm some some grand reviewer or something. But like I don't know, some of my favorite movies are Click and Whiplash is kind of what I'm comparing to. Like if I had to give a movie 5 stars, it would be Whiplash.
I'm sorry. That
it would be Whiplash. It wouldn't be Click.
That
I
is
understand.
a wild
I
pair of
understand the
movies to
stigma.
just drop on us.
Listen, so it's like I don't know. I just think like the movie itself is a very very good movie. I like the story. I like the characters. I like the way that they work. Um, again, like when we were talking about the Gattaca movie, one of the things that I said was that I like kind of like interpersonal dramas, and like that scene in the what was the dude's name? Like the Bond office, and like all that chaos was starting to happen. I was like sitting there like in awe a little bit. I was like, "Oh, dude, this is awesome!" And then like the feelings of tenseness that you get. Basically, the entire movie, it's like a fast paced movie that's always going. Something is always happening, even when it's
His momentum.
slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just I think it's really really good. Why is it not a 5? Hmm.
Yeah, I think the
Sometimes,
answer to that is just, you know, it depends how you grade it,
yeah,
Jim. Like for me, a 5 is not necessarily like there's not really such thing as a perfect movie. A 5 to me is just something that like is not just um amazing, but it's something that especially resonates with me. 4.5 is my quote unquote best rating. That's not like just me being like, oh, I like this
personally
a little
moved.
more. You
Yeah.
know, 4 is just the movie is quote unquote great. It's just a way to describe it without going
Mhm.
in detail. But like to me, this movie is just great. And that's a great like that. It deserves that moniker. I feel like great is a good way to describe it. If you like it more, I understand that. Liking it less is where I would feel like, you know, that's harder to understand. But
Yeah.
none of us feel that way. So
Now, why do you think it's a 5-star movie?
I am gonna get a little film bro, so I apologize.
that's okay.
This
Um,
is what we're here for.
Safe space. Safe space.
so this movie reminds me of two other movies I really enjoy to different extents. Um, and that's Akira Kurosawa's High and Low and Dog Day Afternoon, which I don't know if I mean,
Hmm.
Rob, you've seen Dog Day, right?
Yes, I have.
And it's more of like, yes, they're all crime movies, but they're all like just these crazy, like fast paced stories, but they're also like really economic in the way they're telling the story. Like everything is important and effective and has a reason to be there. Um, but also, I mean, aside from like the talent in this movie, which for me stands out from every single performance, um, is that this movie is also like in its own odd way a slice of life movie.
Yeah.
But it's just not a it's not it's not a slice we would normally see in a movie. And it's just really unique in that, and it feels authentic. It feels real. Like other than the fact that you're like looking at Robert Pattinson and one of the Safdie brothers, it feels real. Like this is something that could happen, and it's told in such a unique way and a super um, intimate and chaotic way that I don't know. It's done so well, and it just appeals to my sensibilities. I think
Yeah.
it
I
it,
one
it
thing
builds on these older movies and not only builds on them but does it differently.
Yeah. One thing I like about this is I kind of like when like a modern movie can feel like fresh and new, but also it feels there's a structure to it that feels familiar. Like this is like a true like from a storytelling perspective, it's like a true tragedy.
Mhm.
Like how this guy is entrusted with this brother that's kind of like dependent on him, and he's constantly being shown as like not necessarily having his brother's best interest. It's always kind of about him, and he's shown throughout the movie as this like he's very very manipulative and like narcissistic. And I just thought that the character study of that and how it manifests in the movie is like really fascinating. And Robert Pattinson's really good in it. Um, and yeah, I like that kind of movie. Um, you know, um, I don't know. I guess it's not like it's not necessarily dumbing it down to the point where like it's passing judgment on the characters. It's just letting the characters exist and letting the audience pass the judgment. You know,
Right.
and I like that also. I much prefer that to a movie that like wants to explain everything. Like tell me who's like why this guy's bad. I hate that. So something I like about this movie.
Yeah, we don't need any hand holding with that.
Right.
That
Yeah,
this
it's
guy's a
very
piece of
obvious.
shit. He's a bank robber,
Kisses a minor.
yeah, pedophile, sex offender.
Which is
Um,
such a great. I've seen people that have problems with that scene, but I feel like it's such a. I don't want to be mean, but it's a stupid criticism because it's so important to his characterization because that's a moment that's so that shows how the lengths he'll go to protect this his self-interest or whatever you want to call it, like to
yeah,
protect his
he
little
didn't just do it
his
because the
lie.
screenwriters were like,
Yeah.
"Let's do it." Right?
Yeah,
It's
right.
Like if you because I listened to the last week's pod before we hopped in here, and so I got Gattaca on the brain, and so like we were talking before about Ethan Hawke's character in that, like doing whatever he needed to do. Ethan Hawke's character is the exact same thing with this, like doing whatever you need to do for your cause.
Bro, again,
I would
holy
like to.
crap, we
I would like
find
to
the
point
fucking
out that
through line of the double,
I
we
would like to
watched these
speak on this.
movies together. The through line of the double feature. Wow.
May I?
What a way to frame that.
I have something for this. If it's okay to already talk about the double feature, Jim.
Yeah.
I like that It's it's almost the opposite character study, if you really think about it. These are two characters operating outside the conventions of the society they live in, and one is like while they're both like they have guile and wit and they're very clever, and cunning. One is like an extremely sympathetic character, arguably, and the other is Connie from uh, Good Time.
Good time.
And it's so interesting that you can have two characters doing almost like a very similar thing, um, and trying to get away with it, but one of them is super sympathetic and the other is like the biggest piece of shit you've ever seen, and they're both like equally compelling and like you want to know how it plays out, and like there's tension, suspense, even though like you're really into it for one character and the other one you're just along for the ride,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you almost
I
want to
would
look away.
I would really compare this movie, even though it's very different pace to the movie. Um, it's to me, it reminds me a lot of Taxi Driver and how the character is shown. Even though Taxi Driver is very much like a slow like stroll through this fucked up story, but
Mhm.
and then versus this is like a fucking sprint to the finish.
Yeah.
But the way the characters are uh investigated, I guess, is interesting and it's kind of similar. It's showing a type of person that feels very real, but doesn't necessarily. It's a fascinating person, and it's definitely a type of person that exists, and
Mhm.
it's interesting to dive into the psychology of that. But Good Time doesn't do that. Maybe that's what Good Time is holding Good Time back for me from being. I'm not as high on it as you guys. I think it's very much showing who Connie is, but it's not necessarily um, asking why. It's just kind of showing you like how he is. But aside from that, the reason it still works great is because of this, you know, this tragic kind of structure of like this is not going to work out for this guy, and
Right.
the clock is ticking, and eventually it's going to hit zero, and no matter what he does, he's not going to get away, with this,
No.
you know. So that's what I found so compelling about the movie. Um, I like that kind of format. And Robert Pattinson in this is just so good, man.
Yeah.
Um, it really is. I think for a lot of people, it was the first time they saw him in this way. that like he really has a lot of range, and um, he just is so good. I think. What I mean, let me think about this. What is this? Is this the first Christian? Because Jimmy probably hasn't seen as many. Is this the first thing you saw him in, other than Twilight, that you were like, "Oh, damn! Like he's good."
Um, I missed this when it came out.
Oh, okay,
I am like, and I think you know me at this point. Like, I am a big Robert Pattinson fan.
yeah.
Um, Unfortunately, I missed this. I think it was The Lighthouse where I really started to pick up with him. Probably like a lot of audience at the time did.
Hmm.
And then I went back and I watched this, and
And it's a good time. Yeah,
which is and High Life. I think I watched them both at the same time. Um, both of which really reinforced my opinion that he can probably do anything.
yeah. Um,
I have seen him in. So there were a couple movies he was in after Twilight, but it was more of the same like romantic drama typecast.
yeah.
So I have
He
seen
wasn't
him.
given much
Yeah,
range to do there.
no, but now that he's kind of, he had to eat his vegetables, he had to prove himself as an actor and
Yeah,
escape that. But no, this unfortunately no. This would have been a great introduction to it, but it wasn't for me.
yeah. I mean, and then I really like Jennifer Jason Leigh in this movie. I think she's
Daisy Dom
very
here.
yeah, she adds she's very funny, and like not that it's not it's not it's but it's just in an odd way, like that's very uncomfortable. She's like so like the way she like screams at her mom, it's like so perfect. Like
Yeah, I think it's also funny.
um,
Like everyone does such a good job of like playing a believable character that like you would see in real life.
also this is like super aside from the point, but one of the clips of Julia Fox, who's in Uncut Gems, which is another Safdie Bros movie. One of the clips I saw of her, was it Uncut Gems or was it Good Time? I might be fucking up this story. I want to say she said she was their Josh Safdie's muse or whatever. Maybe that was Uncut Gems. I thought it
I
was
think
Good Time.
it was
But like,
Uncut Gems.
oh, okay.
I've seen
If it
it.
was, it would be. What I was gonna say is it would be funny if it was Good Time, because that would mean she was the she was like that Jennifer Jason Leigh character. But anyway, um, I thought the other thing I thought was funny was when who's he talking to, where he tells them like dogs love him or something, and you kind of laugh at it. It's like kind of a weird line that's like kind of throwaway line, but then like you find out like conveniently like it might just be have happened to be that dog or whatever. But in the
Right.
plot, the fucking dog ends up it does like him, and it doesn't fucking bite his ass when they break into that apartment. I thought that was a funny little thing. I didn't catch the first time necessarily. Because it shows like that showed like either he was right and the dogs really do like him, and that was like a weird just like oddball thing that happens, or he was just so confident, and again it's into the narcissism, and which is often what he's doing. He's so overconfident, he just goes into these situations and oftentimes gets away with it just purely based on confidence and nothing else. And this was one of those situations. Or it's just, luck, which I thought that was cool. Cool little moment in the movie.
I mean, this
Um,
movie's jam packed with moments like that for me.
yeah. What about you, Jim? So wait, so Christian, you saw this before, right? Yeah, you
Yes,
did.
this is not a first viewing for me.
Okay. So this Jim was the only one. This was his first viewing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I saw it for the first time.
What
Um,
were your impressions of it?
like I said, I enjoy interpersonal dramas. I enjoy super tense moments, and it seems like this movie was specifically designed to foster as many of those as possible. Almost every scene in this movie is always about not getting caught or like the progression of like there's like a goal and it seems like the universe is just always up against him. Like, have you guys ever played 2008's Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yes, actually, that's crazy. I have
You know, like
crazy pull.
how the story can change depending on your actions, and then at the end of each level, you are literally following like a track that it goes
Yeah,
down. It seems
yeah,
like this character, like instead of like good or bad, it's like a yes or a no to like trying to achieve his goals. And every time it just goes no. And it just keeps going down and down the slider because like he just cannot get anything right, which is what I felt for most of the movie. Like it's always the his plot, his plots and his schemes or whatever he's trying to do. They're always never good enough. Like they can't he like they break his brother out of the hospital and he couldn't get like dropped off at his house or else he would have been found out. So he's got to go back to
yeah,
the one chicks and then it's like, oh, he got the wrong brother, and then it's oh, they got to keep doing all this other stuff, and then somebody gets death by LSD, which is
yeah.
my
Well,
favorite
no,
part
he
of the
doesn't
movie.
die,
I
does
mean,
he?
it's
He might
implied.
have.
No,
He might have.
Oh,
I don't think he.
um,
I don't think he dies, but like, yeah, just there's. It's like the next thing, and you do never know what's going on. And I, uh, I
Him
was
waking up
strapped into
crazy.
the ride, and I
I
was
do
in.
appreciate with this movie the show don't tell thing because, like you said, with the brother, like he gets the wrong brother. It's another thing that comes completely out of left field that reinforces his not like his. I think it's reinforcing his narcissism a little bit in that he broke his brother out of the hospital, got him back to this house. He's so all over the place that he never took the time to look his brother in the eyes and like check if he's okay or anything like that. He's like
Yeah,
so absorbed in like what he's doing, and I just like that's like insane and like such an awesome plot point. I that was very cool, and that whole it just makes it all the more satisfying at the end when you finally are spending time with the brother Nick and he's finally in a place of people like a safe space with people like because the situation he was in with the brother and the grandmother was like not a safe space for like someone like that, and it's really that's why it's a tragedy one because this guy keeps fucking up, fucking up his life and whatever, but it's also a tragedy because um this poor guy Nick is like being mistreated, but ultimately that is a happy ending because he gets that um that care, and I found that really like was a moving ending for me, like the because it gives it space to kind of like he's like kind of processing, I think, or not. Maybe it's just the audience. I don't know, but it feels like he's kind of feeling out the room, and he's like feeling like more and more safe in a new environment. And I just thought that was really nice.
It is a happy ending, but you don't feel happy at the end of it. For me, like you're very happy for the character of Nick, but at the same
Yeah, I
time,
think you're
like
right.
bittersweet,
Yeah,
sour
you're right.
grapes, one of those.
Yeah,
Um, just because you realize like his brother should be in his life, but like due to his brother's own actions, like it's not a possibility. So you also feel bad for Nick, even though he's
yeah.
where he's gonna get the most help at the end. Speaking on that, I actually really like the guy who plays the doctor as well.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's kind of weird. I feel like the Safdie brothers always have a person like a strange like guy in their movie that like feels too real. Like he's like doesn't feel like he's acting.
Yeah. Oh, I love that's how the movie opens as well. I think it's a great opening.
Yeah, I agree.
When the first time you see Connie, he comes and he takes Nick out of that safe, positive environment where he's gonna get his help to rob a bank to like serve Nick's own
Yeah,
purposes or Connie's own purposes.
yeah.
Um, Jimmy, I have a question for you.
That's me.
How did you feel when you found out the guy he stole from the hospital wasn't Nick?
Dude, I honestly thought that like I thought that uh I thought that he was like I don't know how to say this politely. I thought he was having like a
Anxiety attack and didn't
no,
understand
no,
what was
like
going on.
like a special needs person like freak out type thing. Like
No, I think
I
you're
thought that he like
supposed to.
woke up and he was like really
Yeah.
angry and like what the fuck was going on. So like at first I was like, okay, cool. Like, he's trying to calm him down or whatever. And then I started to notice that he's
We
got like a very
realized
deep voice and I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck did they give him? And then it finally clicked. And I was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!"
because I think
I
that's
do
the
think
most
you.
enjoyable part to watch. Like I tried to
Yeah.
take a picture of your face while you were watching that. I don't know if you remember, because you had the face that I expected you to have. And
I was just like,
it was
"What the fuck
this
is
was a movie.
this?"
Like this was a movie. I was equally as interested in watching your reactions to it as I was watching the
I kind
movie.
of had the same feeling almost when I saw like my first ever like beheading video. Like I was just in like
Oh
I
my
was like,
god.
"What is going on?"
Yeah, like this movie does good at like stressing the audience out too.
Yeah, because it's like now like this guy has just brought a random guy into this other random person's house, and the mother is like passed out after he just made out with the fucking daughter. It was just a
Yeah,
lot. It was a lot going at you.
a lot going on. Yeah,
Josh Peck should have been cast in that role.
No,
they have Josh Peck and which Sadfi brother is it?
Benny.
What do they got
Benny Sadfi
beef?
have actually been in a movie together, and if you can tell me what movie that is, Jimmy, I'll be very impressed.
Is that the one where he goes, "Shut the fuck up, Clyde"? Is it that one?
Robbie, do you want to?
I have no idea. Oh yeah, I do know. I do
Yeah,
know. I'm a
yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
idiot.
You know,
Oh,
Oppenheimer. Duh.
it's
oh,
Oppenheimer.
oh my god!
Yeah,
Oh my god!
yeah.
uh,
Oh,
But
you've
no,
seen
I think you're
Oppenheimer,
wrong,
right?
Jim. Benny
yeah.
Safdie is way better for this role because Benny Safdie, like very scarily nailed this role,
He did a great job.
like to a scary extent. Like,
Benny Safdie kind of looks like uh Filthy Frank.
okay, um,
I don't see it, but yeah.
I don't see it at all.
I'm
But
looking at his Wikipedia like page. If you look up his Wikipedia page, you would agree with me.
but as far as playing like mentally handicapped people with like out being offensive, the list is Benny Safdie, it's Leonardo DiCaprio,
Mm,
and then
that's treading
no,
the
that
line.
nah, bro, he was good in that movie. I don't care what anybody
Oh,
says. I'll stand by it.
it's a good movie. It's a
I'll
movie
stand
you only
by it.
What
watch
about Robert
once.
Downey Jr.?
Has he ever done that?
Tropic Thunder.
No, that no,
He's not mentally handicapped. He's
no.
just fucking wearing blackface.
You're, you're
No, he
thinking of
doesn't he.
you're thinking of Ben Stiller doing the Simple Jack bullshit.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. There you
Which
go.
is
Um,
purposely offensive. But anyway, my point was
That
that's
was
the end
trying
of
to
the
be the
list.
joke. I'm
It's
sorry.
two names. It's Leo and it's Benny Safdie. Everything else
you
is offensive.
you don't think an argument could be made for Sling Blade?
You know what? I have not seen Sling Blade, but that actually did cross my mind. But I couldn't put it on there
Uh,
because I haven't seen it.
Sling Blade's a pretty good movie.
That's Billy Bob Thornton, right? Yeah.
Yes,
I have heard that's good.
it's it'll leave you feeling the same way this left you feeling, except a lot more sad. So I guess that's a bad statement to make. um,
um, the one who's not on the list, I just want to be very clear about this, is Tom Hanks. He does not make the list, unfortunately.
Do you know
far be it from me to judge what is authentic and inauthentic, but I think I can agree with your list.
Do you know what movie Benny Safdie is going to next be in as an actor?
The Smashing Machine.
Minecraft
Uh,
Minecraft movie.
uh, well, Wikipedia says he's
Or
going to be in Happy Gilmore too.
oh, interesting.
Yeah. The
Big news
Smashing
for
Huh.
Machine
Jim.
came out, I guess. I haven't seen the
No,
first
no,
one.
not yet. Not yet. He's directing that anyway. I don't even know if he's in it.
MJF is going to be in it.
Um, I think the Safdie brothers have a really cool visual style that I don't
Yeah,
think anyone else. I think people try and replicate it, but I don't think anyone else has really succeeded in replicating what they do. And they have so much energy in how they move the camera and stuff, and the editing and just they're so interesting. It's depressing that they're working separately now because it took the Coen
yeah.
brothers like 20 years to get to that point where they're and like at this point I'm okay with that. Like if you want to try something different, fine. You guys did enough together. But like they're so early on, they made two great movies and they're like going separate ways. It's like it kind of sucks, but
They did what Quentin Tarantino said he's going to be doing for 20 years.
what?
They did their thing and then they stopped.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which he said 10 movies. That's so arbitrary, and it's so not true. His whole premise, I don't want to get sidetracked, but his whole premise with that is that he says all the great directors, after they get to a certain age or after a certain movie, they suck, which is so not true. That is totally false.
Yeah, look at Francis
Like,
Ford Coppola.
yeah.
I,
Oh my God.
no,
But
I
like,
agree.
really,
I just wanted to
yeah.
make that joke.
But like, there are so many directors that their best movies come late in their careers, you know?
For sure. I would
So it's
like
just annoying.
Jimmy. Not to get too sidetracked, but one last like off-topic question: how many Coen Brother movies have you seen?
You'd have to name them.
No Country for Old Men,
Fargo,
Ooh.
Fargo.
Big Lebowski, which I believe
Oh, Brother, Where Art
is
Thou?
is Big Lebowski one of your favorite movies, Rob? Is it up there for you?
I like it a lot. Yeah, it's up
Yeah,
there.
it's up there for me as
It's not
well.
my favorite Coen Brothers movie, but it's one of my favorite movies.
I agree.
And it's so quotable. It's really what's great about it.
I'm gonna have to say, none.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that's
I
definitely something to keep
figured.
in mind.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've seen Raising Arizona.
Oh, I like that one.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Mm.
It doesn't surprise me that that's the one you've seen. I don't know why.
I don't think they directed that though.
Well, I looked up Coen Brother
They wrote it.
movies, and it says it was
Oh
under.
no, they did direct it. They directed it, but they didn't write it. Maybe that's what it was.
Oh,
Oh no,
So
they did. Why did I think somebody else wrote this? I don't know.
I'm also
Oh
still
well.
really interested to hear, Jimmy, like what kind of things would you like to see in a movie that you would be willing to give a 5 out of 5 to? If because you said this appealed to all your senses.
titties.
Okay. Okay, that's manageable.
Yeah, yeah.
There's an old lady in this
Wow.
that doesn't push you over the edge.
Nope.
Oh,
No.
okay.
I actually, I don't know. I don't think titty. So, maybe I. Hmm. Maybe I just need to stop being like again. I think it's. I don't know why I have this like weird barrier with like the 5-star rating, but I feel like once I finally cross that bridge, I'll be more easily able to give others fives. I
Yeah,
I just think it's also like
you'll know it. It's the type of thing where you'll
Yeah.
know it when you see it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not asking for like a I guess I am. I shouldn't be asking for a set of criteria. It's a feeling.
Yeah.
You'll feel it out. I'm now like though like I feel like my recommendations, I have mine set already for our next spin at the wheel, but like going forward, I might try to find something or just
That
think on
has
something that, yeah, that like I
yeah,
really want to see Jim give out the 5.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. That's a
Like
good point.
maybe this if this also makes sense. I actually started a letterbox before we like did the podcast. I was so pissed off at this one Netflix movie. Um, that I made an account just to shit on it, and I wrote like a actual like 3 paragraph piece on how much I didn't like it. And in
What
the end,
was
I
it? An
still
anime or something?
yeah, it was Baki
Okay.
Hanma versus Kengan Ashura. So that's where I'm at. But uh, you know, I did not like it, and I still only gave it 2 stars. So I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm a little harsh.
I don't know. I think
No,
you'll get there when you get there.
Yeah.
it's also just a matter of the more you like log stuff, you kind of
Yeah.
see when you see it out laid out, you kind of start to notice, recognize like why, what I don't know, what you recognize your own patterns, I guess,
Yeah.
in what
Yeah.
you how you rate stuff,
There was
and
like a point
it
too
helps.
when I first started doing it that like I would give a lot of like things that I probably would give now. Like a like I feel like if I re-rated the movies that I when I first started, they would probably go up or down like another half star.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think we all do that
yeah.
from time to
I
time.
adjust sometimes because it depends. I mean, stuff. There are movies. Not everything's like this, but there are movies where you don't necessarily you're not finished forming your opinion on it when the credits roll.
Yeah.
You, I have had movies where I'm still figuring it out as I'm at work the next day or whatever, like, and then I kind of feel like I have a grasp on it. I'll put something in. You know what I mean?
I thought
So
a
like,
lot about Gattaca the past week.
yeah, I actually have too. Even just before we started, I felt like I was still considering stuff, and I found that interesting. I almost, but again, it's with that movie. Well, anyway, it's not. This is not that movie, but yeah, it just stuff. It's normal. I think normal to adjust stuff from
Yeah.
time to time. As long as the only thing that about that that's like you don't want to be arbitrary. You don't want to just move stuff for like
Yeah.
at least to me. I try not to do that just because then I feel like I'm not.
I don't
You
think
don't
I
have,
like I
you lose
probably will
conviction.
say like, in the future if I look back and I'm like, yeah, I probably would have changed this, but I'm not going to betray my former self. I will always
Yeah,
leave a rating as is.
yeah. Or you just see
You just
what
make a
I do
second
is when I
account.
log it, I just think, no, I log it. That's why I like the logs because you log it one day and then you log it another day and it's a new rating. So
Mm,
like you still have the record of that old one, but you get a new one too. So,
yeah.
but with one thing I wanted to say about Good Time, um, there is the scene towards the end where they're in the apartment and the guy is trying. I don't. It might have been before the guy's trying to get him to stay. But they have the LSD and they get in an argument, and then it's like It's like one of the. It begins the climax of the movie because it's like this. Pattinson has this moment where totally he's taking a lot out on the guy. Um, some of it's deserved, some of it's not, but it's totally a projection of what he what he is to um, his brother, and like I forget exactly what he says. He basically says something along the lines of like the guy is like a sort of a parasite to like the people around him,
Hmm.
and that's kind of what he is. And so he's like it's. I just thought it was interesting because he's totally projecting on this guy, and the way Pattinson plays it, it's like with total ignorance to the fact that he's actually talking about himself, and it's really what makes one of the scene. It's one of the key scenes that really makes me um, brings the movie together for me. You know, I don't know if you guys took note of that scene or not, but do you guys remember what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think yeah, like I'm kind of right on track. I don't really have a whole lot to add to that, but I
Yeah.
felt so.
Yeah.
I think yeah, that's how I would put it.
I think, but I mean, kind of as far as the plot, I mean, the movie is very simple. It's like it's a movie about this. It's about manipulation and selfishness and you know
Mm,
the guy is maybe traumatized or something. I don't know, but like he's fucking up. Like he is fucking up his life, and he's fucking up the lives of the people around him. You know,
Hmm.
like he's making everything worse. It's like when your life when you fuck up, it might suck to you know to swallow the pill and just like deal with what you did, but it's way worse to do what he does and keep fucking kicking the can down the lane until it's like 10 times worse and like the guy fucking dies from not directly from you, but indirectly from your actions. Like the guy, people
yeah.
are dying, and like this girl has now he's passing his trauma onto this girl who is now going to have trauma because this guy fucking tried to groom her and told her that like, oh, I fucking have visions of
What's
you or whatever, some fucking whatever weird shit he says. But
what makes it more interesting to me too is that like he doesn't see himself as a fuck up, as he says to the other guy when they're in the security guard's apartment.
yeah,
He's like, "You're a fuck up," but he, he doesn't see himself that way. And
no,
like
yeah,
you're like, and like you can follow the logic, but it's like clearly like not the case.
yeah,
But it's interesting that like his own self-image is not reflective of like what we're seeing at all. Like he
which
has to do
is
a lot of mental gymnastics, which is like also goes in line with like the mental gymnastics he does like with his brother.
yeah, which is accurate with like narcissism. Like when you come across people that are like not like just like they're fucking not like just self-important assholes. I mean like real narcissists.
Right.
That's like what it is. Like they're everything is to protect their not their image to others, but their self-image. You know, even if it's not conscious, they're always like doing things in their head to spin things so that they're basically so that their like narcissism can continue,
Mhm. Yeah. Um,
But
yeah, as a character
yeah,
study. Again, Robbie, if you haven't seen High and Low yet,
I
I think
haven't.
I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I think I will too. I'm waiting for a good. Sometimes movies I know I'm gonna like, I wait for or the right day. Like I did that with Dog Day Afternoon. I ended up loving it. Um, I actually liked that movie more than this one, but um, it's also different. I think in some ways.
Yeah. No, it is different, but like you can see
Yeah,
uh,
there are similarities. There are
the through line, like
yeah,
you would say.
yes, like a guy who yeah, it's another. It is very much basically there are two movies that deal with like how your actions are
Yeah, and you
cascading
also
down onto other people. You know.
with Dog Day Afternoon, you also get the other brother who is probably not as like his faculties aren't as sharp as like Al Pacino or Robert Pattinson. Like like there are a lot of just interesting character parallels in that one.
He's not a leader. He's a follower.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think
Which
he's his brother though. I think he's just his friend.
yeah, Sonny from
Yeah.
The Godfather. Right? Sonny? Is it Sonny
No,
in The
I
Godfather?
think it's Sonny in the movie, but I think
Fredo.
in The Godfather he's Fredo. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew it
John
was you, Fredo.
Cazale, I think is his name.
I do that to my
Um,
dog a lot of the time. I'll kiss her on the nose and I'll go, I knew it was you, Fredo.
yeah, I mean, I guess as far as the actual movie, I don't know if I have much else to say. I guess I'm just curious about like how you, Jim. Have you seen Uncut Gems?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you guys see this compared to that?
Ooh, so I had this conversation the other day with my buddy after I was on the phone with him telling him that I had just watched Good Time Again. Uh, I like this better.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I already knew how you were gonna feel about this.
Yeah.
um, they're both fives for me. Not to make this the Uncut Gem show, but I find the story in this a little more compelling, and I don't know if it's because of the pace or I don't know. I don't know if I have a clear cut reason. I think it just appeals to me a little bit more.
That's interesting though, because I'm the opposite, direct opposite. I am more compelled by Uncut Gems, but I don't know if it's because I'm a degenerate gambler or if it's just that I like the story more. Maybe I relate to the guy a little too
Putting it all on
much.
the
I
tip
don't know.
off.
Yeah,
You also
Kevin
have
Garnett with the tip.
colon cancer.
Does he have colon cancer in that movie?
That's the first scene in the movie. He's getting a prostate
I
exam.
totally
Or
forgot about that.
prostate cancer, I'm sorry.
I
And then he
don't.
gets,
I don't
never mind.
remember
Actually, you
that.
know what? It's all coming back to me
I
now. Because doesn't he find out that he doesn't have cancer?
I think so. I think he doesn't have cancer because that's why he's
Whoops.
so happy at the end.
Yes.
But
Adam Sandler does such a good job in that movie. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what else he's good in? Um,
Hustle.
and I want to tell no, but he's
Click.
fine in it. But
Punch Drunk
stop
Love.
it. Let me tell you the movie. I'm setting it up. I want everyone, all two people that listen to this, and you guys.
Us in the
And
future.
actually, you know what? I'm going to write it down and I'm going to recommend it today. The movie is called um, Meyerowitz Stories. It has a longer subtitle. It's like a long name, but it's the main name is Meyerowitz Stories. It's him, Ben Stiller, Dustin Hoffman, and some other people. I can't remember who else is in it, but it's basically this family, and he's really, really good in that. I don't want to just go through the plot, but like he is particularly good in that to the point where like I almost like the performance better than Uncut Gems, although he's good in that too.
Hmm.
Different kind of performance, but if you like Noah Baumbach, Christian, you probably know who that is.
Yeah.
You will like that. That is
Okay.
my favorite movie of his.
I'll have to watch that. That sounds interesting.
Um,
I've never heard of it, surprisingly enough.
yeah, I think a Netflix movie.
Okay.
Meyerowitz Stories. It was called. Yeah, I think it was a
Yeah,
Netflix movie.
sometimes I fall behind on like the direct to streaming movies.
Well, that was kind of a random one. I don't know that a lot of people really saw it, but I thought it was really good. Much better
I'll
than
have,
it's given credit for. But yeah,
there's been a
anyway.
lot of direct to streaming movies that have disappointed me recently, so
Yeah.
I haven't been doing as much. Yeah, I mean, Jim, do you have any like final thoughts on Good Time?
I want to say, just to weigh in on this good time Uncut Gem argument conversation. I'm more really. I
Oh yeah,
liked
please. I'm sorry.
I liked Uncut Gems more just because I found that um it's almost like a different kind of chaos in a way. Like it's basically the same premise, but it's just if this person that's the main character is in a position of higher power in a way, like he has better means. So, his troubles are it's almost kind of like it's funny, like the scale of monetary value that's required to solve his problem is higher, essentially. So he just ends up doing the same like crazy shit.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that, and then the ending sequence of the movie is like a super intense, like same thing. You know, Good Time. They have all these tense moments, but I feel like the crescendo of the ending of Uncut Gems is better than the feelings invoked in Good Time. I
The
felt
other thing
more
about
in in Uncut Gems is what I'm trying to say.
the other thing about Uncut Gems is, I think it's more
Does that have tits in
like
it?
versus. Yes.
Good.
Well, yes, I
Maybe.
think.
There you go.
Um, versus this, where it is very, like you're saying, the pace is off the charts. It's so fast paced. But ultimately, other than a few twists and turns, I do think the plot is pretty straightforward in Good Time. Versus Uncut Gems, I felt like there was so much going on, while also the pace was still, pretty not as breakneck as Good Time, but it was still pretty fast paced movie and like tense and like you know. So I just felt like there was that those layers of like him having. I mean, there's still the layer of his family in this, but he doesn't care about his family and like Connie doesn't care about like he pretends to care, but he doesn't.
No,
I
he
guess
doesn't.
it is. I mean, it is the same with the Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems. I guess he is telling himself he cares, but he really doesn't. But I don't know. I both are great movies. I do like Uncut Gems more. I think Uncut Gems is also. I gave that a 5. Also, this I stick by 4. I think it's great. I think it doesn't necessarily uh, when the credits roll. I'm not necessarily like wow, 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 type feeling. I'm just like wow, that was
Wow,
great.
wow, wow.
One wow, not 3 wows. I guess.
I have just a question that might seem kind of silly.
Okay.
Why did he rob the bank in the beginning of the movie?
It's just what he does.
Yeah. They don't really explain it,
Hmm.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but he's living with his grandma, so you can kind of surmise. I
Yeah.
think that he doesn't want to get a job. I think is what it is, or like
Hmm.
he doesn't must not like his. They don't really tell you, which I like, by the way, also because there is a tendency by a lot of movies to over explain things, and like there really is. It works just as well not explaining it. It's almost better because you can kind of imagine what you think it will be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um,
I have no final thoughts.
I guess my final thoughts will just be that um, I think it's a great movie, and the Safdie brothers are great, and Robert Pattinson is great, and I think it will. It's a movie that will be time will be kind to this movie. I think very kind. I think as time goes on, this will almost guaranteed be like looked at as a classic movie. So it even though it's not necessarily one of my personal favorite movies, it's one I like a ton, and I think it deservedly is beloved. So
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree. Robert Pattinson's great. Safdie brothers are great. Benny's great in this. And I like it's an easy 5 for me. And I agree. I think this will definitely be looked on favorably in the future.
Good. Now, here comes my favorite part of these episodes. Guys, what'd you watch recently?
Oh, I'll start because I forgot to do this the last time. I saw Wolfman in theaters last week.
Whoa. What's it about?
I really, really wanted it to be good. Um, and it's a really mixed bag of a movie for me. I was really excited for a good, unique werewolf movie, and I guess I got what I wanted, except it's kind of missing certain things that make werewolf movies werewolf movies. Not to say that you can't break the mold, but it definitely doesn't deliver on the title Wolfman as much as it should have. It does have a lot of interesting shots and an interesting way of telling the story of a werewolf, but it just doesn't do enough for me. But I guess I left the theater unhappy. But I'm glad I saw it. I was looking forward to seeing it. I appreciate that they tried new things. It just didn't work for me.
Hmm.
So I also have some stuff. Do you guys remember? Did I ever talk about the Count of Monte Cristo on here?
Yes. Yeah, I think we did cover
Okay,
it.
I did. Okay. What about Waves?
No.
Okay. So Waves, I saw recently, and it was kind of a random movie. I had been looking to watch because the trailer looked kind of interesting. And it's directed by the guy who did what's that? What's it called? It comes at night. That's what it was. It comes
I
at
enjoy
night,
that movie.
which is a movie I liked a lot. I think it was kind of mixed reviews, but it was one that was kind of in my wheelhouse. I really liked it, and I like Joel Edgerton in that. So I saw Waves. I didn't know what to expect from it because I hadn't really heard about it before, and I was kind of blown away. I thought it was like really, um, it's really visually like spectacular, but then also it's um, very emotionally resonant in a way I didn't expect at all. Um, and there's a whole dynamic. I almost want to. Maybe I'll make it one of my suggestions. I almost want to watch him for this.
How
So Sterling K. Brown's in it. He's great in the movie. He is one of my favorite actors now, not just from that movie, but from American Fiction and other stuff I've seen him in. So,
he's awesome.
um, yeah, he is. The other one I saw was um, what did I see? Honey Boy, which, if you don't know, is the Shia LaBeouf movie. Shia LaBeouf wrote it. It's about him and his relationship with his dad, and he plays his dad in the movie. And it was so interesting, and Shia LaBeouf was really good in it. And then I think Lucas Hedges plays Shia LaBeouf, and Lucas Hedges does this weird impression with his voice that is like scary. It's there's times where he sounds just like Shia LaBeouf. Um, but yeah, so that movie was good, and I thought it was really cool to see the range of performances in that movie. And it's kind of silly, like you get to see the kid in the Even Stevens outfit and everything, and like he's getting a pie thrown in his face. Very, very funny. Um, and then the other one I'll talk about is I watched Babylon, which is Damien Chazelle. Jim just talked about. He loves Whiplash. I love Whiplash too. I love La La Land. I don't love First Man. First Man is a fucking snooze fest. I watched Babylon um, because I like Brad Pitt. I like Margot Robbie. I like Damien Chazelle. Boy, what a fucking disappointment. Totally, totally dog shit movie. Um, not that there's anything not good about it. There are things I like about it, but overall, fucking bad movie. So not one I recommend, but you know,
Fair enough.
Mm.
and that's it.
Nice. I watched Hands of Stone about Roberto Duran because I had to get my boxing movie fix in, and then just for shits and gigs, I had this chick over, and I put on Radio Rebel.
Hmm.
Then I found out it was a Disney movie, and I wanted to shoot myself, but I still smashed regardless. And then
Congrats.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
happy for it.
And then more Yu Yu Hakusho, almost on. I'm like 15 episodes deep, and he be beating up them demons. Them
I've been
demons.
watching also the new season of Invincible.
Amazon. Yeah. See, the
I haven't
problem
seen
is
that
is
show
that
yet.
I like got too deep into the comics, and so like I saw too much, and I'm like, oh, Okay.
I actually this is one I caught before the show even was an idea. I love the Invincible comics. And the
Mhm.
show is different, but I appreciate it for what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I never saw it.
So now we go on to the second favorite part
This is
of
my favorite
the
part.
show. Here you go. Let me Google
Exciting. There's so
wheel
much promise of the future
of
in the
names.
wheel.
Yes. So we go to the wheel of names, and
Bring out the
we
wheel.
if this is one of the reasons why you should be watching the YouTube version of this show or this channel, whatever you want to call it, is that you can see the wheel of movie, and we will be picking the next movie for us to watch. Are we doing a double feature again? Are we doing a single? Are we doing what are we doing
Let's
here?
let's do let's do it the way we've done it. Let's pick two.
Okay.
We'll watch them together, and then we'll do two separate pods.
Okay.
And we'll do it that way.
So I'll put in the movies, and then I'll hit shuffle about 5 times, so nobody gets annoyed, or there's no bias.
I got mine in. Although I will say I'm disappointed. I thought you were gonna give it a 5, but I got mine in.
All right.
He
So
almost did. He was thinking about it.
yeah, if
I
anybody
thought I
wants
had him.
to start,
That was a good suggestion. I like Good Time.
yeah, it was a good movie.
Rob, why don't you go ahead if you have
Oh,
them?
okay. Yes, I do. I have a big list here. I'm trying to narrow it down. So let me ask you, Jim. Would you prefer I suggest ones I haven't suggested yet, or do you not care? Or
I don't care what
um,
these are your picks. The wheel decides ultimately what we watch. So if you want to keep putting in the same movie, it's fine with me.
okay, I guess I'm going to keep it fresh, keep it different. You know what? Here we go. We're recording this the day before Valentine's Day. I know it won't come out that way, but since it's Valentine's Day, I'll do a couple. I'll do a couple.
Crazy stupid love.
Little freaky movies here.
Freaky
Um, the first one I'm gonna do is called About Time.
Okay.
I feel like I've heard of that before.
The second one I'm gonna do is called Your Name,
Your
and
name.
the third one I have to decide which way I want to go here. This is not going to be related to the holiday at all. I'm gonna go with Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. All right. I'm going to suggest Parasite,
Okay.
Black Mass, and Waterworld.
Dear Lord.
Are
Oh
you,
my
are you
God.
giggling?
Yes.
Are they bad movies?
I don't know. We'll save it for the
Funny.
podcast.
It's just always what it is you always I
You throw me
somehow am
off.
always surprised.
Yeah.
I know not to be, and then I'm always surprised anyway.
Well, that's yeah, there you go. Okay.
How about you, Christian?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna recommend. They're pretty vanilla. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Who's Nest?
There Will Be Blood.
Uh-huh.
And The Champ,
The Champ.
because I know you love your boxing movies. So
Now, are you choosing these movies because you think that they're good? Not you think
sometimes.
I don't know how we want to work this because I've seen both One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and There Will Be Blood.
Do you want me to pick other movies? Again,
I'm
I have
totally down to
movies
watch
You
a
lined
have
up.
movie again.
seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? What the fuck?
That surprises me. Okay, I have more.
Yeah, that surprises the hell
No,
out of me.
I'm not saying that as in like we don't have to pick movies that I've never seen before. Eventually, we will like reach that point. I'm just saying if you were like choosing
I'm
that
okay. Here,
specifically for me.
let me request something. I do want to do There Will Be Blood at some point,
Hmm.
but me and Jim just watched it recently.
Okay,
So
yeah.
if you don't mind, the other one I'm okay with Cuckoo's Nest because I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
But
All right.
me and Jim kind of recently watched it. There Will Be
You know
Blood.
what? Fuck it. I'm gonna suggest Hot Fuzz.
Hot fuzz.
Beautiful.
All right, we are locked in, and we're going to be hitting the shuffle button. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wow, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is the top of this list.
Let's go.
Here we go.
That wasn't the spin. You're just
Oh
announcing
no,
that.
yeah. No. I was about to
Oh
say
my
now.
god.
Now
So
we're about to hit the
disappointed.
spin. I am
So
clicking
can't express
right about
disappointment.
now. The wheel is going. The wheel is twirling and whirling and swirling. And everybody give it up for Hot Fuzz. Hot
Let's go.
Fuzz.
Let's go.
Fuck yeah.
All right. And now we're going to hit it.
Let me ask Christian something. How does it make you feel that would have been There Will Be Blood?
Oh, I'm not. I wasn't. I'm not married to any of my suggestions
Okay,
too strongly
okay.
right now.
All right. Well, we're going to hit this next
This is all for
movie.
better.
We're spinning. We're spinning. Everybody give it up to Your Name. Your Name.
Oh my. Oh my. I'm apprehensive. I'm curious what you guys are gonna think of this.
All right. Those are our movies that we will be consuming next. Our beautiful double feature.
Oscar
now,
plug?
technically.
Oh yeah, we should talk about
Yeah,
that.
I was about to say our next piece of recording that you guys will see. Technically, yeah, you're right. By the time this comes out, we will be recording next our Oscar, or I guess I should say what Rob and Christian, because they've seen a lot of the movies of this year, their awards for the movies of the year. We will be posting it the day before the actual Oscars come out.
This is
And
more prestigious than the Oscars. It's the Lupos.
Much more.
yes,
Yeah, the Lupos.
the Lupuses. And then we have a surprise plan for the Oscars, but I won't be saying it until our award video comes out. So
I
if
would
you want to know,
tell him. Why not tell him?
because you have to have money more.
Here's our surprise. For every day the Batman doesn't turn himself in.
I'm gonna goon.
I'm
so-
gonna eat a whole bag of Shaq gummies.
Oh my
I
god.
don't think I
terrible.
threw away the ones that are downstairs, so they might be
Terrible.
sitting there still.
They're no good.
We bought. Rob was like, "Give me gummy worms" when we went to 7-Eleven before the second movie, and they like didn't have gummy worms, but they had every other type of gummy. And there's a Shaq gummy that is just his head, and Rob had one and said it was like the worst gummy he's ever had. So
Terrible.
sorry, Shaq, but you're just not it, man.
Tasted like his ball sack.
Tastes like my ball sack. Anyway, do you guys have any final comments before we head out here?
If you're listening to this, I love you. Let's switch bodies.
Sorry.
You guys will get that in a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. Christian, what about you?
I had to mute my mic to stop laughing at that. You know, whoever's listening to this, I know you're out there, and I see you, and I love you too.
Behind you. Turn around.
We live in a society. Thank you.
I'm a passenger. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to, if you're on YouTube, like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're on Spotify or Apple Pod. Make sure to leave us positive reviews because we only produce positive vibes. Make sure to give us 5 stars, or else I will find you. And
Nah, leave
I
negative
will wear your
reviews.
skin.
Tell me I'm a fucking asshole.
There you
Let's
go.
fight on
Make
the
personal
internet.
attacks about what you perceive our
Please.
characteristics to be.
Draw us.
Yeah, draw us. Send us fan art
Draw
on
us
Twitter.
sexually in a
Mm,
sexually explicit ways that we don't consent to.
Or,
I
just
mean,
a funny doodle is fine too.
yeah, I probably should have ended this 2 minutes ago, but thank you for watching.
Nah, that's all
That's
good.
the
That's you
show.
keep that. You keep that. Keep that shit. That's gold.
Okay.